I want to emphasize maybe five main elements that are really behind the what I think is the secret sauce of 2X and our service delivery operations. The first one is I'm here in Manila today, and our other center is in Kuala Lumpur, not by chance. We picked those two locations because of the strategic value they represent for our business, our purpose. Both are very sizable talent centers, strong economies, all have different, have similar but also subtle differences in their talent pool. So if you take Kuala Lumpur, it's a very diverse population, proficient multiple language, great infrastructure, a lot of good professionals in the space of marketing, digital, and services. A very rich cultural diversity that make them very good at understanding various consumer market demands and preferences, and a very strong digital all-around capabilities. If you look at Manila, very similar profile with maybe an even stronger English proficiency, very young, dynamic population. It's basically 51st state in this very strong alignment with everything Western markets. Very strong base for business process outsourcing and BPO, and therefore a culture where you can implement operations like this one here, where people work 24/7 across different shifts, which is a very unique feature of what we can do in this business. The second one is probably the fact that we have a very unique ability to scale high quality recruiting across our centers. At any single point of time, every month, we basically process around 5,000 candidates across Scale and Manila. That's a huge amount. We take them through screening. We take them through technical assessments, quite extensive. Some of our COEs or Center of Excellence use different techniques, but on average, it's basically about 50 questions to assess candidates around their technical skills. They go through then interviews, which is a mix of case and behavioral interviews. And at the end, we basically pick up about 3 to 4% of the people we have as candidates to start with. So another way to look at it is probably it's easier to get to Harvard than it is to get to 2X. So very proud of our highly scalable, highly selective recruiting engine, which help us select and find the best talents in the market. Beyond that, and that's the third point, even though we have a very strong and selective hiring engine, we also spend a lot of energy training and onboarding our new joiners. That's basically a journey that takes them between 2 to 3 to 6 months, depending on the skill sets and the level they join us in. They will go through basically desktop training, of course, but also classroom training, client shadowing, so working on client work, not as actual delivery teams, but shadowing existing more senior, more experienced colleagues to see how they operate, how they work, and get consistent and constant and repetitive feedback on how well they are doing, what could they do different, what kind of training they need to do in order to get better, and basically every month get an assessment of how well they are doing, are they ready to move on, and only when they're really ready, we deploy them on our clients. It's an extensive investment we make. I can tell you my CFO doesn't really agree that we should spend as much time with our people before making them productive, but we believe it's really part of our secret sauce and making sure we have the best talents working for our clients. So that's the third, I would say the third secret of our operations. Even though we get our people to be trained and client ready, we don't just throw them on an account and a client project and hope that they will survive. We have also a very rigorous client onboarding process that goes about 30 days, 90 days time frame, with a very dynamic and precise way of measuring what we're doing and what progress we're making. And basically, we're looking at a few things. One, making sure we understand where the value is for our clients and can direct our team, therefore, on what to work on and what to deliver. We make sure that we establish strong governance with our clients, good project management, frequent communication to make sure they are receiving the right kind of feedback on a regular basis from the clients and from their delivery leads to be able to deliver the work they need, align the processes, and work on any transition that needs to happen for the work to become efficient as soon as possible. So even though we dedicate our teams to our clients, we make sure that they also operate in an environment that set them up for success with a strong onboarding process. Then that doesn't stop here. The last step is we make sure that our employees, even though they're client ready, even though they're dedicated to client teams, are basically benefiting from an environment that gives them the right environment to continue to learn, grow, and develop their skills as needed. So one is continuous learning. We have an extensive library of modules of training, about 1,000 plus by now. I think it's beyond the number you see on that page. We certify our people, of course, in a number of different technology and platforms. And this is something we make them available so they continue to grow. More importantly, when they work on the clients, even though they're dedicated to client teams and work under the supervision of the client delivery directors, they also still are part of a community, their clients, their center of excellence, and benefit from the support of more senior people in their squad support team, so that they can benefit from more experienced practitioner who can help them address any issues, concern, or development needs they would have to address the need of our clients. So basically, they are dedicated, yes, that's the most common model we use with our clients, but they benefit from an environment that keep them fresh, challenged, and growing, and continue to develop their skills as professionals. So if you summarize it, I think those 5 ingredients: being in the right location, finding the right talent with a very scalable, very intensive, but scalable hiring engine, making sure we onboard, train our people for an extensive period of time so they are ready to run and to be deployed to our clients, providing them with the right environment so that they have actually the ability to be deployed to a client with a good understanding of what to do, how to do things, and make sure the operation is running smoothly. And then having an environment where they can continuously learn, grow, and expand and be supported when they face challenges is probably some of the secrets behind the success of our delivery teams. It reflects also in how people look at 2X. We're very proud to be an employer of choice. As you can see, most of them are very proud to work at 2X, willing to put extra efforts, would apply again, we recommend people to join us. We have a very diverse workforce as well. And our attrition level, albeit not in the single digit, is probably, if you look at other companies in the advertising or marketing space, or BPO even worse, is probably in a much lower scale with less than 20% of attrition annualized. So pretty proud about also the value that we give our people and they have them being excited to be part of 2X and deliver great work for all our clients.